Good morning! Today for art class, we're going to be going outside. So some things that you might need, if you have it, some sidewalk chalk, some water in a cup. If you want to bring a paintbrush out, you can. Or if you don't have any of those things, you can just bring out some paper, some crayons, colored pencils, markers, whatever you have at home, okay? We're going to be making a piece of artwork outside. And the idea is to make a piece of artwork for our community. So it can be anything you want. You get to choose what you're drawing. But the idea is that you want to make something that you want other people to see. It can be a message. It can be your favorite video game character. This is all up to you. And if you can't hang up a piece of paper or whatever you have outside, what you can do when you're done is hang it up somewhere in your house, because that's also a community of your family. Maybe hang it on the fridge, on the wall, anywhere like that. All right, let's go outside. Alrighty, so these are some of the materials that I had at home. I had some nice chalk pastels, regular sidewalk chalk, all sorts of things like that. You don't really need much, just some chalk. And like I said, if you don't have these things at home, you can use crayons, you can use colored pencils, you can use markers, paper, whatever you have available to you. Alright, so I also have a bucket of water and some cups here, and that is going to be used a little bit later. So, a few of the things that you can do when you're using your chalk is you can soak your pieces of chalk in cups of water for about 5 to 10 seconds just to get them a little moist. This is going to make them a lot easier to use, a lot less dry, and you're not going to get that scrapey feeling when you are using them on the concrete, sidewalk, whatever you happen to be using chalk on. So this is just an example of what it will look like when you have your soaked chalk and you're using it on the sidewalk here. So it's a little more creamy. Works kind of like a paint stick. But if this is something that you want to try out, you may go right ahead. It's a little bit easier than using some dry chalk. Another way that you can use your chalk is by drawing with your dry piece of chalk first. So I'm just going to lay out a really quick sunflower. And then if you have some water available to you, and an old paintbrush that you don't mind getting dirty, what you can do is you can draw your drawing out first, just like I have here. Got a little flower started. And when you finish your drawing, you can take your paintbrush and you can actually dip that right into your water. After dipping your paintbrush into your water, what you can do is just go over top of your drawing to see what happens. Your chalk will start to spread out a little bit. This isn't for everyone, and it didn't really work out great on this drawing, but if this is something you want to play with, I absolutely recommend trying it out. Alright, the last technique I want to talk to you guys about is just getting your entire surface that you're working on wet. So I have a nice big bucket of water here, and I am just literally pouring it all over where I want to draw. Pretty easy. You don't want to get it way too wet or your chalk will start to spread out a little too much. So keep that in mind. Here's a little bit of an example of me using the chalk on the sidewalk that is already wet. It's a little creamier. It does spread out a lot, so you need to keep that in mind when you're using your colors. Layer your light colors first. So yellows, greens, things like that, really bright green. You want to do that first, and then add all of your dark colors last. Okay, so now that we have all of that, I added a little bit of a tongue there, just to be cute, colored it in, layered all my colors. I have a cute little drawing. I just went over the rest of my drawing with a little bit darker of a color just to make some of those details pop a little more. You can do this if you want or not, that's up to you. Alright, and this is what I decided to make for my project this week. It's a little bit of a twist on a quote that I like from Harry Potter, and I just sort of modified it a little bit. But this is my community art outside with my chalk. What I'm going to need from you guys is a picture when you're all done. That's all there is to it. You will get a little messy, but have fun!